Welcome to the Haunted Narrative. Today we will be talking about the haunting of Abaddon House, a night of discovery and fear. Abaddon House. Even the name sent shivers down your spine. It stood on a desolate hill overlooking the town, a spectre of grey stone against the stormy sky. Locals whispered tales of its dark past. They spoke of a family torn apart by greed, driven to madness within those very walls, a place of sorrow, anger, and unspeakable tragedy. The Blackwood family, once prominent and respected, met a grim end within Abaddon House. The patriarch, driven by avarice, had allegedly murdered his wife and children before taking his own life. The house remained abandoned ever since, a monument to their shattered lives. Some claimed to see flickering lights in the windows at night. Others swore they heard the faint strains of mournful cries on the wind. The Blackwood tragedy was more than just local lore. It was a stain on the town's history, an open wound that refused to heal. And we, the Ghost Adventures crew, were about to step right into the heart of it. Tonight, we delve into Abaddon House, seeking answers from the echoes of its tormented past. We aim to confront the darkness, to shed light on the mysteries that have haunted this place for generations. This is no ordinary investigation. This is a journey into the abyss. Preparation is key when venturing into the unknown. We were going in armed, but not with guns or knives. Our weapons were technology and knowledge, our shields courage and determination. We unloaded the van cameras, EMF readers, thermal scanners and EVP recorders. Each piece of equipment was vital, a tool to document the unseen and give voice to the silent.
I reviewed the floor plans, my brow furrowed in concentration. I meticulously marked potential hotspots, areas where the energy felt heaviest, where the veil between worlds seemed thinnest.
Billy, ever the tech whiz, calibrated the equipment, ensuring every sensor was optimized to capture the slightest anomaly. I pored over the historical records, newspaper clippings yellowed with age, and faded photographs that whispered tales of a bygone era. The Blackwoods stared back at me, their eyes hollow and haunting. Their story was a tapestry of despair, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can consume even the most seemingly perfect lives. Before stepping into Abaddon House, we took a moment of silence. A moment to steel our nerves, to prepare ourselves for the emotional and spiritual onslaught that awaited us. We were walking into the lion's den, and we knew it. The air grew heavy as we approached the front door. It was as if the house itself was exhaling a breath of cold, stale air, warning us to turn back. The oaken door creaked open, the sound like a death rattle echoing through the stillness. We stepped inside, and time seemed to stop. Dust motes danced in the faint slivers of moonlight that pierced through the grime-covered windows. Cobwebs, thick as shrouds, draped over everything. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay and something else. Something unsettling, like the lingering perfume of tragedy. Each footstep felt heavy, our boots crunching on the debris-strewn floor. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the sound of our own breathing and the frantic pounding of our hearts. The house felt alive, its very walls pulsing with an unseen energy. We were guests in a tomb, intruders in a place where darkness reigned supreme. The air grew colder, a bone-chilling cold that seeped into your bones and settled deep within your soul. We had crossed the threshold into the unknown, and there was no turning back. As we ventured deeper into the bowels of Abaddon House, the atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. The air crackled with an unseen energy. Shadows danced at the edge of our vision, playing tricks on our eyes. Were they just shadows, or something more sinister?
We entered the parlor, the grand piano sitting silent and shrouded in dust. As I ran my hand over its cold ivory keys, a faint melody seemed to drift from it, a mournful tune filled with sorrow and regret. The hair on the back of my neck stood on end.
In the master bedroom, where the Blackwoods met their tragic end, the temperature plummeted. A wave of icy air washed over us, carrying with it the distinct scent of lavender and blood. The EMF reader spiked, its frantic beeping echoing our own racing pulses. Something was here with us. We pressed on, our senses on high alert.
A child's laughter, high-pitched and chilling, echoed from the hallway. A door slammed shut with a resounding boom that seemed to shake the very foundation of the house. We were being watched, toyed with by unseen forces.
The darkness within Abaddon House had a way of worming its way into your mind, of preying on your deepest fears. Aaron, usually stoic and level-headed, seemed withdrawn. His eyes, usually sparkling with excitement, were clouded with a deep sadness.
He later confessed that he felt a connection to the Blackwood family, a shared sense of loss that resonated deep within his soul.
Billy, our resident skeptic, was strangely quiet. The normally talkative tech expert seemed shaken, his face pale and drawn. The evidence, the overwhelming feeling of dread that permeated the house, was starting to chip away at his skepticism. He was a believer now, whether he wanted to admit it or not. I too felt the weight of the house's sorrow pressing down on me. But there was something else, a feeling of unease that I couldn't shake. It was as if something malevolent was watching us, studying us, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The fear was palpable, a living, breathing entity that stalked us through the shadows.
We were not alone in our fear. Abaddon House was teeming with unseen entities, their presence a suffocating weight on our chests. We were not just investigators anymore. We were witnesses, participants in a terrifying spectacle that was only just beginning.
The energy in the house reached a fever pitch as we descended into the basement. The air was thick with the stench of mildew and decay. The only light came from our flashlights, cutting through the oppressive darkness like knives. It was here, in this damp and forgotten space, that we felt the full force of the haunting.
The temperature plummeted, our breath forming icy clouds in the air. The EMF reader went haywire, its frantic beeping a siren song in the darkness.
And then we saw it. A shadowy figure, tall and gaunt, with eyes that glowed an eerie red. It stood at the far end of the basement, its form shifting and swirling like smoke.
The figure spoke, its voice a guttural rasp that seemed to claw its way up from the depths of hell. It spoke of betrayal, of anger, of a thirst for revenge that death itself could not quench. It was the voice of Elias Blackwood, the patriarch driven mad by his own demons.
We were paralyzed with fear, our minds struggling to comprehend the horror unfolding before us. This was no ordinary haunting. This was a battle for our souls.
We had stumbled upon something ancient and evil, something that had been festering within the walls of Abaddon House for centuries. We left Abaddon House forever changed. The experience left an indelible mark on our souls, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond the veil of our reality. The evidence we captured was undeniable, the experiences we shared too profound to ignore.
Aaron, still grappling with his personal connection to the Blackwood tragedy, found a sense of peace. He had faced his fears, confronted the darkness, and emerged stronger on the other side. He had helped to lay to rest the tormented souls trapped within those walls.
Billy, the skeptic-turned-believer, was a changed man. The experience shook him to his core, forcing him to confront the limitations of his own understanding. He emerged with a newfound respect for the unknown, a humbling awareness of the vast and mysterious forces that shape our world.
As for me, I left Abaddon House with a renewed sense of purpose. The experience solidified my belief in the paranormal, fueled my desire to seek out the truth no matter how terrifying it may be. We had stared into the abyss and the abyss had stared back, and in that moment of shared terror we had glimpsed the true face of fear.
Abaddon House may be silent now, its secrets seemingly laid to rest. But the memory of that night, the chilling encounters, and the lingering sense of unease will stay with us forever. We had ventured into the heart of darkness and emerged forever scarred by the experience. We were forever bound to Abaddon House, forever haunted by its ghostly whispers.